Okay, hi everyone. I'm just gonna do this short little video to hopefully explain some of the things that I left you in your email. So feel free to do some of these things before class, but like I said in the email, if it's still not making sense or you just want to make sure, I can go through it with them when they come to class. Especially after their class, I have 30 minutes and I think that's their only class that day. So I can just walk them through some of the stuff because I'd rather you guys know exactly how to do it so you don't end up having to re-sew them or even like if it might ruin the point shoe or something. So um, let's see. We'll start off with the ribbon. So your ribbon is all in like one long one, but you're going to cut it up into 4 pieces. I have 2 pieces right now. And then my other 2 are sewn on. Oh, I dropped one. But they'll probably be about this length. But what you'll just want to do is just take your long ribbon and go like this, and just cut them in equal lengths. And then after that, you'll want to take each ribbon, and at one end of each of the ribbons, you'll want to just take like a lighter and just burn the edges so they don't fray. So it'll just create like a little stickiness on the edge. And then after that, let's see yes, so you'll want to put your point shoe on after all of that. Sorry, just moving some stuff around. So just put the point shoe on like you did before. I'll put the one on that I haven't used. And then sorry, I'm just sitting down on a chair and doing this on my computer. After you put the point shoe on, you'll want to see where like the highest point of your arch is. So it'll be better when you're standing flat. But right where the highest point of your arch is, that's where you'll want to put a mark. So like grab like a pen or something and then mark on the inside of it, because that's where you'll be sewing your ribbon. So you'll want to do one on this side and then one on the other side as well. So you really want it to be at the highest point of your arch so that it's really tight around that part. So after you're done marking that, you'll take your ribbon, you'll take the edge that is already burnt, and mine's already folded, but you'll take this and then fold it twice. So you'll go down 1 and then 2. And so you'll have like a little rectangle. I don't know if you can see that. And that just helps make it sturdier. So that will be important. Also, before all of this, you'll want to make sure you have your thread. So remember, if you didn't get the stitch kit, then I would use floss. Don't use normal thread because it will break super, super easy. So you'll want to get like a good length of the thread. Cut that. And then just feed it through. And then just knot it at the end. I normally do like 2 knots just to make sure it won't come off. Okay, and so after you've done that, you'll take your ribbon that you just folded twice. And then also with the ribbon, there's normally like a shinier side and then a more matte looking side. A lot of the times you'll want the shiny side out. So whenever you do your rectangle, just make sure the shiny side is facing out. So next, you'll take your point shoe. Let me tilt this down a little bit. You'll take your point shoe, and then right where you marked it, you'll take the rectangle and make sure the part where you folded, that will be on the inside, so it won't be showing. So you'll take it to your mark, and then when you place it, you'll want to put it at a slight angle going towards the box because that will wrap around that way. If you do it too straight up, sometimes it can gap weird, especially make sure you don't do it this way. You want to make sure it's angling towards the box of your point shoe. So once you have that placed, then you'll just begin sewing. And then, so pretend I already sewed one side. Let's see if you can see this. Actually, I'm going to sew a couple stitches so you can see, because you can't really see on this one. So the main thing you're going to want to make sure is that you're not sewing straight into the other side of the point shoe, and especially when you're at the top, you're going to want to make sure that you're not sewing straight through the elastic, because you'll want to tighten it if you need to, and if it's sewn right through, then you won't be able to tighten it all the way around. So, sorry, just try and do a couple of stitches so that you can see how you're going to be sewing it all the way around the ribbon. Okay, here's a couple of stitches. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Maybe if I put like the light of my phone up onto it. Oh no, that just makes it worse, huh? Okay, well, if you can't see, this will be, I can show you them in person, but I normally start up at the top, and then I go down and around, and then go back up. Then I just go straight across the top, making sure to not go through the elastic. So you're just doing it through one layer on this side, because you don't want it to show on the outside. And so that's what you'll do with your ribbon. You'll do it on both sides of that shoe where you marked. Then you're going to want to have your elastic, and you're going to do the same thing like you did with the ribbon. You're going to cut them all in 4 equal lengths. So just make sure you do that. Then you will sew the elastic right on top of the ribbon that you just sewed. So you'll sew it again right on top of the ribbon, that same ankle. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put the shoe on again. And so when you put the shoe on, you will already have it sewn. And what you'll want to do is you're going to stretch it and see how tight you want it back here. This is something that will be good to show in person too. So maybe if you just get the ribbon and elastic on both sides before class on Tuesday, that will be great. And I can help them see how tight and where to sew it in the back. But just to give you kind of an idea, when you put it on, since it'll be sewn here, it normally will be about 1 inch from this middle part back here that you'll want to sew it. So I normally just take like that much, and then I'll sew it right there. Or even just folding the back like this is a good kind of like little just way to see. You'll probably sew it like around there. But you'll just want to see how tight you want it, and you want it pretty tight just so it'll keep your shoe on so it won't flop off. So you'll want to measure that and then cut off any of the excess elastic. But again, if you don't feel like you know exactly where, just based on what I've told you and shown you, please wait till like Tuesday and I can help them with that. But after that, you'll then sew it back there just the same way that I was showing you, all the way around and not through the outside of the point shoe. And then you'll do that on both sides of the point shoe, and then on the other point shoe as well. And then once that is done in class, I'll show you how to sew your point shoes, and we'll cut off any of the excess ribbon. We'll just cut it off and then burn those edges, so those edges of the ribbon won't fray as well. And then your point shoes will be all good to go. So I hope that helped a little bit, just helped explain kind of what, that was like a really fast version of what we talked about and did in class. Oh, just another thing I told them too is, I know especially like when you're first doing point, you tend to get a lot of blisters. That can be very painful. So these are something that I've used when wearing point shoes that have saved my feet when I have blisters. It's called Second Skin Squares, and they'll last you a while, and they're really nice because they just like cushion. You can put it on top of your toe, and then put your toe pads over it, your tights and stuff, and then wear it in your point shoe so that it just cushions and doesn't make the blisters as painful. But I just found mine on Amazon, just Second Skin Squares. So those can be super helpful if you're finding that you're getting a lot of blisters when starting out. But I think that's all that we covered, and just let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns, and I'll plan on seeing you guys on Tuesday. Thanks!